Hey, this is Mike at OnPoint. I wanted to share with you how we are handling third-party payrolls with Spectrum job cost accounting software or equipment cost accounting or even work order. Brings about some unique challenges, and I feel like we've got this down to a science after all these years, down to a rhythm and a routine. What we do when a client tells us, or even a lead or a new implementation, when the folks tell us they are using a third-party payroll processor like ADP or Paychex or Paylocity, all of them that are out there. I ask them for two things to get started. One is a copy of the statements from the third-party processor that backs up the amounts deducted from the bank account. And generally there are 2 or 3 deductions. And so what I need to know is what are those? What's included in those? And then the other thing I ask them for is the first payroll. I need information to get the gross to net, and I'll explain that in a minute. You can see I'm in Excel here, and in this example, there's a payroll back in February. We assigned it an AP batch. More about that later. And we figured out the gross to net. Regular wages, overtime, per diem, things that add to the check. And then we figured out, the deductions, tax deductions, 401k, so on and so on, down to the net pay. We had to figure that out. And then we figured out the employer expenses. And again, all of this is off the statement from Paylocity or whomever's doing the payroll. What are the employer expenses? The different payroll taxes, unemployment and such, all right? And we took it from there, and we said, all right, in this case, there were 3 ACH amounts deducted from the bank account. And we figured out that the first ACH represented the net pay to the employees. Great. Okay, got that. We figured out the second ACH was the child support remitted to the court authority. Okay. And then we figured out that the third ACH that's highlighted was the employer expenses. Okay. And so we took that information and we said, okay, well, let me back up a minute. We said, in terms of what the client is paying direct, in other words, the things that the third-party processor is deducting in payroll or fringe benefits and that is not paying, that the client pays them, we figured out those amounts also. In this case, the client's paying 401k, dental, medical deductions, and vision deductions, okay? So we're getting our mind around, who's doing what. Now, the key to this approach is that time cards come into Spectrum, okay? And time cards include anything that's added to the check. In this case, regular and overtime wages, per diem amounts, vacation that's added to the check, okay? Anything that's added to gross pay is coming in from time cards, and it's critical that all time cards come into Spectrum, okay? Now, Spectrum is set up in such a way that it doesn't care about payroll taxes or anything else. It's gross wages and it's net pay, okay? They're the same numbers. And we credit net pay to a clearing account. So in this case, gross wages was 90-ish thousand. And so that comes in on time cards into payroll like it normally would, and the only other transaction or entry there is a credit to clearing. And so in this particular case, we nailed it down to 5 types of transactions. We said, okay, pre-time, or in other words, time cards come in for the 90 and change, and that hits that clearing account as a credit. And then we said ACH1 comes in and hits that clearing. ACH2 comes in and hits the clearing. ACH3 comes in. Now, part of that, we go to payroll tax expense, and I can get into that later. And the other part goes to clearing. Okay. And then the benefits payable, in other words, these little guys here that the company's paying direct, that nets against clearing. And the key here is we've nailed the transactions that bring clearing to 0. What a concept, right? And then we said, all right, what are the steps? So the first steps are bring in time cards and process payroll, okay? That's this guy. And then we said, all right, book an AP invoice for that ACH and code to clearing. And I feel strongly about doing it through an invoice so that there's vendor history on this, especially where things can get out of whack if things aren't done properly. We need detail. We need backup. The third was book another AP invoice for the third ACH. I'm sorry, the second ACH. And then book another invoice for this ACH. And so we've got this down to a rhythm now every week. And then enter the benefits invoices to whomever the administrators are here. Delta, Fidelity, Blue Cross Blue Shield, whoever, but just go ahead and book these invoices to capture those liabilities in the system. And again, that nets against clearing. And then last but not least, verify clearing is zero. So, I make this look easy. We didn't figure it out this quickly, but this is a very nice kind of level set standard approach we're doing with clients now when they're on third-party payroll systems. We're getting the benefit of real-time job costing, T&M. If we're billing T&M, we're getting that information in as quickly as time cards come in, and it's keeping this whole third-party payroll job cost accounting system as simple as we can. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us or email us. Thank you. Bye-bye.